Excelente. Sí, similar. No, ahorita fui allí en Neutral. Fui a viajar con Aranjuez. Se vas. Invitamos a las personas para que sean parte de nuestro siguiente side event. Invite to the all people that be part of our next side event. Our next side event is about the dance plastification. Please, come on, come on, come on. Please come on. Our next side event of our youth pavilion of Global Youth University Network. Please come on. Welcome. 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 Thank you. Okay, okay. Yes. Xiomara es solicitada. Xiomara, hágale. Por favor, invitamos a las personas que se encuentran al frente a que sean parte del Youth Pavilion. Thank you. Come on, welcome. Come on, come on. Invitamos a Esteban a que sea parte del Youth Pavilion.
But we have three people.
Xiomara es
Sí, bueno, yo voy arrancando.
Sí. Ok. Hola, hola. Buenos días. Good morning. Opportunity for technology and empowering others. Thank you very much. Alejandro. Alejandro, welcome.
Connected in English and in Spanish. So, because we're trying to expand throughout all Latin America and the Caribbean, the importance of the plastics treaty, la importancia del Tratado de Plásticos, because this future plastics treaty that represents really a huge step in our generation to combat one of the three pillars of the triple planetary crisis. And for that, we are looking out to the new global biodiversity framework, which in one of the goals has the expectation, let's call it like that, the expectation, because right now everything is in expectations, to cut down pollution in our environment to combat biodiversity loss. So without further ado, sin más que decir, I would like to please thank our panelists here, which you can see, of course, here who they are. And I would like to expand a little bit on what does this plastifying life or Deplastifying vidas means. Deplastifying lives is a campaign that surges from this need to expand further in Latin America and the Caribbean, especially in youth, what the plastics really is and what its relationship with the global biodiversity framework and the role of youth it has in it, right? Así que, así como nace de esta necesidad de poder crear en Latinoamérica y Caribe un mecanismo en el que la juventud puede unirse a combatir la triple crisis planetaria, específicamente la de contaminación, ¿no? Y en este caso, aprovechando que Latinoamérica tiene la presidencia del Tratado de Plástico, bueno, viene una parte fundamental, de qué manera nosotros podemos ser aquellos gestores de cambio para este tipo de iniciativas, ¿no? Entonces, explicarles un poco a qué va Desplastificando Vidas. Desplastificando Vidas pues tiene como objetivo ir a cada una de esas escuelas, de colegios, específicamente en Ecuador y Colombia, en ciudades como Barranquilla y como Guayaquil, que son este plan piloto, para poder ver de qué manera la juventud y la academia pueden vincularse en el desarrollo de nuevas tecnologías alternativas y de emprendimientos que sirven desde el liderazgo juvenil, para ver de qué manera nosotros, pues claro, podemos combatir esa contaminación plástica y sobre todo aquí expondremos muchas cosas más que van más allá de la contaminación plástica como contaminación física, sino también como contaminación química, todo lo que tiene que ver con la producción de plásticos y con la contaminación y con la necesidad de disminuir todos esos productos nocivos para el ambiente que causan los plásticos, ¿no? Entonces, pues claro, la idea es, entre esta campaña Plastificando Vidas, es comentar acerca de estas leyes que se han aprobado tanto en Ecuador como en Colombia, que ayudan a que, o que ayudarán cuando se empiecen a implementar, ¿no? Pues a disminuir esta contaminación plástica. And the idea with this is to go through schools, to universities, and to reach out to that academia to expand on new technologies, on new ways to cut down pollution, and to see those alternatives that come from youth, right? And that's the idea, to go to Barranquilla and Guayaquil as a pilot plan, as a preliminary plan, to see how we can engage youth better. And for that, we're going to share about the new plastics treaty, the plastic laws that were approved in both countries, both in Ecuador and in Colombia, and that we expect that they are implemented soon. So without further ado, right now, I would like to give the floor to the panel. Right here we have Daniela from CF, we have Adrian from Earth Day, and we have Raymond from Greenpeace. Three networks and three institutions, three entities that are helping to cut down that pollution, to explore in various communication avenues how youth and the rest of society can engage better in cutting down pollution, in cutting down plastics, and of course, they are really engaged in the plastics free negotiations. So we're going to hear, for example, from Daniela, what are those expectations from the production cycle? From Adrian, we're gonna see how youth and how Earth Day is really engaging throughout their campaigns youth to see how the plastics treaty can be translated into the everyday life. And of course, with Rayhan, we're gonna see and we're gonna hear about how Greenpeace, which is this global organization that is fighting since a long time ago environmental issues, is expanding on the knowledge about this type of pollution. So I'm going to give the floor to Daniela to start with. Daniela, you're free to speak in Spanish or in English. And please, the floor is yours.
Gracias, Alejandro. Please raise your hand if you speak Spanish. Spanish? Español? You don't speak Spanish, right? No, thank you very much, Alejandro, and thank you very much for the invitation to this space. As Alejandro mentioned, I am Daniela Duran. I am from Colombia, so I am very happy to see the COP happening in my home country. And I work as a senior legal campaigner at 9 of the plastics treaty negotiations, as I guess you all know. And discussions are critical. Geopolitics are at the center of this discussion. So right now it's the most critical moment for us to call for a treaty that actually controls and reduces plastic production. What we are seeing in the negotiations is governments willing to postpone any decision around controlling plastic production. So what we're seeing right now in the developments and in the proposals that the chair of the negotiations is bringing to the table is to say, you know what, dealing with corruption is really hard right now. We know that there is not going to be global consensus around this because, of course, there is a group of countries that depends on the permanence of fossil fuels in the economy, the Gulf countries, and that are still plastics as their lifeline, and that know if the treaty succeeds in controlling plastic production, fossil fuels economies will be perpetuated. So what we are seeing right now from the chair and from a group of countries is saying, well, this is a very difficult decision at the moment. So we will postpone every conversation around production to be decided at the conference of the parties. But that's very dangerous. That's a very dangerous bet. Because we know that if we don't act now to control production, plastics will consume up to one third of our remaining global carbon budget to achieve the 1.5 goal of the Paris Agreement. In perspective, that's more than what's expected from the energy and transportation sectors. So postponing the decision of controlling production is risking the right to a healthy environment for fossil. So one of the first things that we need to be calling upon governments to deliver in the plastics trade negotiations are, as a minimum, controls to prevent plastic production to continue expanding. And this is also an economic issue because many countries would say, but this is an issue of economic development, right? And in the global south, we need to expand plastic production if we're going to do a bet for economic development. But what we know right now is that that's not anymore true. We're seeing a glut in the plastic production markets. We have more capacity to produce plastics than actual demand growth. So we have an excess of capacity that's bringing profitability for the sector down. Companies are already facing credit downgrades from stable to negative. So this is not anymore a bet for economic development. And as one of friends, an economist that is called Fabien Cabo, a very famous Egyptian economist, was telling me last week, continuing to invest in petrochemicals in the global south, it's like investing in donkeys in the 19th century. So we need to transition to a better and safer and more just bet for economic development. So I will finalize this first intervention by saying this is a critical moment in the negotiations. What we are seeing right now is this push for postponing every decision on production to the conference of the parties. That's a very dangerous bet. Legally speaking, we will need further negotiation, ratification, entering into force of measures if we postpone this decision. And we don't have time. So we need to push governments to deliver measures, legally binding measures to control production by the end of negotiations. At the very least, to stop the expansion of production that is going to be heavily undermining for climate, heavily undermining for human health, and heavily undermining for human rights as well. And I will finalize with this regard. This is the last chance that multilateralism has to demonstrate that it's going to be effective. We know as you that multilateralism has failed us. The Paris Agreement has failed us. And the 10 years have failed us. We need to demonstrate that multilateralism can deliver results for future generations. This is the last chance they have. And if the treaty don't control production, that's going to be a big deception for global multilateralism. And for that, we need to move over consensus. If we leave this process under the principle of consensus, the process is going to remain in a jail by the oil-producing companies and the oil-producing countries that will never accept the treaty that we need. But we need that treaty to work out. The treaty can incorporate measures to make this and to bring everyone on board on time. So if we need to leave something, some countries that are negotiating in bad faith behind to get the treaty that we need to demonstrate to the world that environmental neutrality
really, really, really inspiring work, and of course, really strong message about the measures, and then the legally binding instrument as it sounds as it should be, right? And really, really, really great to hear it from a youth who's working on plastics, right? But right now, please, Daniel, if you can use the microphone too. The you have here, right? Please. Now, Aiden, please tell us how is early trying to engage youth in this pollution crisis, right? And of course, and with all of the other biodiversity loss and etc. that is
First, we'll start off. My name Sharon. I'm the associate director of Global Growth. I'm also previously the director of Deplastifying initiatives that are the goal is really very sustained at the scale speakers, just because they're so intelligent. They have everything lined up, and it always scares the crap out of me, but I'm going to try my best. In order to engage youth on this, we have to recognize that plastic is not just a pollution issue. It goes way beyond that. It's a human health issue. It's a biodiversity issue. It is all encompassing. It's a climate change issue. It's everything we worry about as biologists, as environmental stewards. We constantly, this is our fear as plastic. And what we need to start communicating, what the youth need to start communicating is like, we can't just keep passing the light switch. We can't keep passing this. I'm 26 years old. I don't want to be passing this on to my nephews. We need to be the generation that's going to stand up and yes, these governments. And the only way to do that is communicate with them. It's a huge problem. It's killing all your triggers. And with that, you have to bring it in. Plastic industry costs $500 billion a year. Sale should be on that. $500 billion a year annually just for healthcare costs associated with plastics. So if they're not worried about this health, we need to worry about the environment. And we need to be hammering that message in and just keep up the messaging about it's not a issue, it's not a waste issue. This treaty has to be all about waste. We have to hold these countries accountable. The Paris Agreement was fine, but it didn't have any mandates for countries responsible. We can't keep going down that path. I'm coming from the United States, and every time I have a discussion with our State Department, they just keep telling me that look, we can't get rid of plastics. 2025. When I say that it's costing them a crap ton of money, why are you focusing on that? They say, oh, well, it's actually a security issue. And when we're look, we have solutions to that as well. What is the deal? They just keep placing plastic as for shit because they're worried about the bottom line. We just need to keep hammering them, and it's all encompassing that we can't keep going down this path. Can you hear me? That is my quick spiel for now. So I will pass it on. Well, hi everyone. I'm Rehan from Greenpeace and working in the Southeast Asia region and based in Indonesia. So I flew along the way from Indonesia, 34 hours flight, more or less, and I'm still struggling with the jet lag. So bear with me. So yeah, my colleagues here already covered around the plastic treaty. Daniela highlighted really well. It's related to not only plastic pollution itself, but also the climate. And also this is about the economic. And also my colleague Aiden here like also emphasized association and also yeah how youth can participate and engage in this process so we can synergize our effort like to have like strong global plastic treaty. So yeah, I mean Alejandro asked me like what's the connection between like plastic pollution and biodiversity. Maybe you saw a lot in National Geographic or some documentaries like ingestions, yeah, some turtles or biodiversity species like digesting the plastic that will kill them. That's one thing. And also there is like indirect impact of plastic pollution, plastic production to the our climate that will impact our biodiversity. Um, yeah, you might. I believe you might hear about ocean acidification, for example, and plastic production is at the moment as bad as the emission coming from coal power plants, something that the COP climate tries to eliminate. But we try, as Daniela mentioned, that we want to transfer the fossil fuel effort into the plastic sector, the petrochemical sector. So this is crucial for the climate as well. So that's why to stop, like the the ocean acidification that impact the coral bleaching. Like this is like the, the worst coral bleaching, right? In Great Barrier Reef in Australia, and yeah, that's the worst. So we can do it through plastic trading. And the second one is the emerging issues, important issues beside plastic production is what Greenpeace tries to do is we try to promote like refill and reuse system. Um, I mean, I'm from Indonesia. We used to do something, like wrap with the leaf, and then we used to bring Coca-Cola, for example, from the bottle, and then we return the bottle. And not anymore now. You can just access like plastic easily, and yeah, that's why like as long as the single-use plastic produced and we rely on recycling that can cause like harm to for us because like after you recycle it will create some kind of like chemical new chemical substance that will
Yes.
impact our health as well as the biodiversity health. So that's what we try to promote. We have our project. If you're interested to hear more, like how to promote like refill reuse project, so you don't need to use like sachet or you don't need to like use plastic bottle to drink. You can contact me. We have like pilot project in the Philippines, in Indonesia, and we work with the small scale businesses and actually the increase of their profit increase. So it's not only good for environment, but also it's good for small scale businesses. While if we're talking about single use plastic, who's going to be profiting? The big business industry, petrochemical industry. So that's another emerging issues on the refill and reuse. And also, it's important. Anyone here in your country like started to ban the single-use plastic
Yeah.
bag?
Mm.
Anyone here? Maybe in Latin America, I'm not sure. Yeah. See, yeah. And in Southeast Asia as well. In Indonesia, for example, we started to ban single-use plastic, but it's not enough if we ban the single-use plastic at the national level. If other countries, for example, still regulate the single-use plastic, then yeah, at some point the single-use plastic waste, the debris will come to your region, and that's what's gonna happen. So that's why it's really important to push our government, like to like to scale up like the national level initiative to the global level initiative. And yeah, last but not least from my side, like how you can really this process. Yeah, we usually say like we can politically engage in our country as a citizen beyond voting. So what we can do, for example, like yeah, you can check your delegates, like when they uh, what's your delegate's position, and then one you need to check like whether they have this position like openly, transparently. You can check. If it's not open, it's not transparent. I mean, it against, I believe, like in every country has these principles like good governance, where you can make your government accountable if you don't do that. So that's what we do in Southeast Asia, at least. In Indonesia and the Philippines, if they're not open, we try to make them accountable. That's one thing. And the second thing, you can check your government position in the UN website. Actually, sometimes you can see your government position, like
Yeah.
it's submitted there, or yeah, you can monitor even. Although you cannot be present in the INC negotiation, you can always monitor, and we need you for that. Um, whether the position is, like against public interest, or this is the position is, um, um, tend to support the interests of petrochemical industry, as Daddy mentioned. You can see it's clear, and also you can see like the list of delegates. Usually it's published whether some of your delegates there is a petrochemical industry there, so you can make them accountable, like yeah, and you can actively like politically engage as a youth on that. I think that's it for my side now, and we can have further discussion. Thank you.
And you give me the microphone. Yeah, no. Thank you, Rehan. Now I would like to change it to Spanish. Quiero cambiar a español. Thank you really for the positions here. Me gustaría cambiar a español, sobre todo porque quiero introducir ahora a Xiomara. Xiomara Pucara es la directora de Evaluación Médica, una de las organizaciones que está liderando este proceso. Y sobre todo porque junto a Xiomara hemos adquirido un rol de poder coordinar la región hacia una región donde la sociedad civil está enganchada en los procesos de los acuerdos ambientales multilaterales. Así que, Xiomara, me gustaría darte la palabra para que nos digas cómo la juventud se podría involucrar aún más en esto de aquí, cómo ves tú que este tratado de plástico se involucraría con la biodiversidad y sobre todo cómo podemos empoderar a la juventud para que siga construyendo pues esas tecnologías innovativas, esos emprendimientos innovadores en temas de plástico. Así que, Xiomi, te
Gracias, Alejandro. Y bueno, also, I want to thank you guys for being here. Sorry that we have to switch because I'm Colombian. I like it doesn't look good that I do English. But first, I wanted to maybe give you an insight. My organization is Barranquilla Plus 20. It's a youth organization working here in Colombia. We're a net organization working for the past 10 years, indeed 12 years ago. We have been attending the IMCs, the whole sessions, and we also have the capacity to do so because it's not that accessible, but following online, following also in person, and we are leading here with Alejandro from Ecuador, this campaign of plastic plásticamente. Entonces, cómo también fuerzas esa desigualdad a estas poblaciones es un asunto que para nosotras es crítico y que decimos tiene que superarse, pero tiene que hablarse más de esto porque si no, pues cómo vamos a estar, ¿cierto?, movilizando lo que es realmente importante. Entonces, no solamente, digamos, abogamos por, sí, educación y etcétera, y bueno, cómo vas a desplastificar tu vida, sino también cómo esto implica asuntos de justicia, equidad, derechos humanos, que sabemos que capaz estos escenarios intergubernamentales no son los únicos o los más adecuados para garantizar eso. Y ahí viene parte de nuestra preocupación, porque entre más difícil sea para las juventudes también participar en esto, pues va a ser mucho más difícil promover las soluciones de fondo y las soluciones ambiciosas que se necesitan. Entonces, traer un poquito la palabra, ¿cierto?, en ese sentido, de comentarles cómo vemos este problema del plástico, cómo lo vemos implicado también en la vida de las personas, no solamente de la biodiversidad marina y costera, y bueno, y de los humedales, ¿cierto?, en general de todos los ecosistemas, alta montaña, porque en todos lados están los plásticos, sino también cómo va a ser crítico que nos enfrentemos a otra nueva industria, una nueva desigualdad, ya surgen otros factores en el sistema económico que vienen con fuerza. Yo les cuento que los primeros INCs no habían varios sectores de plástico, yo vi, pero ahorita ya está todo el mundo acreditado, inclusive de asociaciones de plásticos aquí en Colombia y demás. Entonces, bueno, obviamente tienen derecho a participar, pero se hace más difícil, se pueden ampliar las brechas para las juventudes que no tienen las mismas herramientas para participar e incidir. Así que dejar ahí un poquito esa provocación, dejar un poco claro cuál es nuestra posición y invitarles pues a seguir desplastificando vidas. Vamos a trabajar con cooperativas de recicladores y de recicladoras, personas que se han dedicado su vida, ¿cierto?, a visibilizar esto y queremos ponerlas en el centro de las soluciones. Son quienes deberían estar también participando en estos escenarios, que es complejo, lo hacen, pero obviamente ustedes saben que no es fácil ni para las juventudes, ni para estos grupos, ¿cierto?, poder incidir aquí. También vamos a estar educando muchísimos jóvenes, muchísimas infancias en estos temas. Vamos a estar movilizando más sesiones de capacidades sobre marco global de biodiversidad de plásticos, entre otras acciones como las reciclatones, como el eco-rave, bueno, como distintas herramientas para que la gente se pueda sensibilizar y pueda entender que este no es un asunto solamente, cierto, que se resuelve con pagar la bolsa un poquito más cara o no, no necesariamente con esa decisión individual, porque así lo quieren ver como vamos a dar una solución individual cuando se necesita una solución colectiva de fondo global. Así que ahí, digamos, lo voy dejando y agradecerles por todo esto y esperamos que podamos seguir trabajando juntas, porque eso es lo que queremos. We want to work with all of you, with this coalition of people, mobilizing the action for the plastic treaty, for young people, for human rights, for equity and for justice. And this is just the beginning. Indeed, the campaign, this project is about to start, and we really want to, to have a lot of collaboration with you and also reinforce our influence in the IMC and in the future treaty, and you guys here in the CBD and its synergies. Thank you so much.
Sí, no, muchas gracias, Xiaomi. Although to timing issues, we will need to close up this panel, this side event. But really, I mean, the idea is to try to engage more all of these organizations that globally are fighting towards an ambitious, a just, and equitable plastics treaty. And thank you, Daniela, thank you, Aidan, thank you, Rehan, thank you, Xiomara, and of course, the idea is to keep deplastifying life and to fight for a zero waste plastic consciousness, ¿no? As the Spanish theme is por una plastic conciencia de cero desecho, porque la juventud es la que tiene esa capacidad de hoy poder presentar esas soluciones innovadoras y sostenibles para combatir la crisis planetaria, para la biodiversidad, el cambio climático y la contaminación. Así que muchas gracias por su tiempo. Esperamos seguir aquí adelante y un abracito. And a picture, please. A group picture. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much.
Sí, claro, todos.
Everybody.
Y hace rato no cojo una cámara.
Salimos bien. Sí, sí, claro, vamos, vamos, la foto, vamos. Vale, vamos, corre, ¿por qué lado? ¿Por aquí? Una foto, por favor. Vamos, foto. Las chicas, ¿vale? ¿Listo? A la chica, la foto. Gracias, la gente, vale, vamos. Por favor. Vale, vamos, vamos. Vale, vale, vale. Hay un espacio libre por aquí, vamos. Sonríe, plastica, sonrisa, vale, vamos. Espera, espera. Vale, vale, rápido, rápido, pero gritando, gritando, gritando.
Desclasificando vidas. Gracias. Colombia.
Bye. Where are you off to? Oh, I don't know.